All of us know of a taboo subject in our lives and community, one that is not deserving of silence and one we want to break open. For me, this is the mental health and well-being of founders. We are seeing more and more innovative individuals and more diversity amongst those pursuing entrepreneurship. There are more entrepreneurship programs offering opportunities to teach the building blocks and skills for success, and this is incredible. The funnel is getting wider, and we need such individuals and such diversity to innovate, to drive change, to find solutions to our most pressing challenges. But whilst the funnel widens, we are confronted with a growing mental health crisis in the startup ecosystem. You see all the success stories, the breakthroughs, the huge exits, and it's all too easy to glamorize the founder journey, to see founders as invincible forces of nature. But to quote Michael Gungor, burnout is what happens when you try to avoid being human for too long. So yes, founders are strong, passionate individuals, but what is the Achilles heel? It's the silence of those who burn out, the silence of those who break down, of those who are anxious, of those who worry for their livelihood. It's the silence of those who don't feel able to take off the mask and share their very normal doubts and fears. And of course, the brilliant ideas that don't quite make it to fruition. 9 out of 10 startups fail, but in the plentiful articles and reports dissecting the reasons for startup failure, founder mental health and well-being is seldom mentioned, or the attribution is minimal. From our experience supporting founders firsthand, it's clear to us that founder mental health is a significant contributor. And as one of our founders so nicely put it, founders create value with their minds. So anything that clouds this mind will influence mental acuity, stamina, decision-making, innovative, creative, and pivoting capabilities. But beyond just statistics, this means that hugely valuable individuals in our world are running themselves into physical and emotional exhaustion. Poor mental health, burnout, should not be considered an accepted byproduct of entrepreneurship, a rite of passage. Entrepreneurship is undoubtedly hard, but it does not need to cause hardship. We've had the pleasure of speaking with some brilliant researchers in the field about ways to reduce the negative health implications of an entrepreneurial career, and I just wanted to share a very small snippet of this with you. Dr. Amanda Williamson, Dr. Jeffrey Gish, and Dr. Yuta Stefan outline the 3 R's of entrepreneurial recovery, although I do believe they hold so much value for enhancing the lives of founders and non-founders alike. The first is respite. This is concerned with taking a break, detaching from stress by engaging in other personally rewarding and enjoyable activities. It's to provide both tangible relief, so time in nature, socializing, listening to music, but also mental relief, such as mindfulness and positive reflection. The second is reappraisal. This involves the changing of our thoughts and feelings related to stress and the stresses in our lives, such as CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, or stress optimization, or even expressive writing, working through the thoughts and feelings related to big events in our lives. The third is regimen. This involves taking respite and reappraisal and adding routines and structure in our lives to make sure we can keep up. This is how we ensure we get the rest and the recovery that we need to perform and feel at our best. We outsmart ourselves. We put timers on our devices. We join activity groups to hold ourselves accountable. We engage in sleep hygiene. Now, these 3 might seem like obvious steps for some, but for those individuals who put all their time, energy, and resources into bringing their visions to life, detaching from work stress and prioritizing well-being is not always easy. Looking after ourselves does not have to be complicated if we all create an environment and a culture where it's the expectation and not the exception. So what can we start doing today? Well, if you're a founder yourself or aspiring to be, remembering that investing in yourself and laying these solid foundations of prioritizing your well-being is the single biggest investment you can make in your venture and your future. Intuitively, some may already know this. You think of the first round or the first sale. What did they buy? Did they buy your product? Did they buy into your financial model? No, they bought into you and your capacity to build your vision for the next decade. So you owe it to yourself to be healthy and happy enough to take it that far. Startup success and founder mental health are not mutually exclusive, and the responsibility does not just lie with the founders. We must all contribute to creating a safe space where founders feel able to take off the mask. For investors, a founder is your biggest asset. Invest in the well-being of the founder. Actively encourage them to prioritize rest and recovery without needing to justify, without feeling guilt. If you know a founder, a friend, or a family member, simply checking in with them, asking them, how are you? And not just how is business. When someone's identity is so closely tied to their work, when asked, it really is all too easy to default to explaining how work is going. But we need to know how the human behind the venture is coping. It's something so incredibly simple, but can make all the difference. Ultimately, at Founders Taboo, we want to support and teach entrepreneurship differently. And this means including mental health awareness and learning from the outset, building those skills that will help when riding the highs and lows. And this will not only mean healthier, happier entrepreneurs and their families, but more innovation, more return on investment, more young individuals reaching their potential in entrepreneurship, and a healthier ecosystem as a whole. What would happen if we could start unlocking some of those ideas that got lost to burnout? Those lost opportunities are wealth for all of us. It all starts with investing in the health of the human behind the idea. Thank you for listening, and be well.